What's going on, y'all? The Hidden Channel, the THC Mob. I know it's been a while since I posted a video, man. I've been doing good on everything except my diet, y'all. I have been stress eating. I have not been eating well. I just finished a pint of ice cream. I know. I've broken my diet. I will get back to it, man. Let me tell you something. Carbohydrates are sugar is very addictive. But I'm gonna be strong. I'm gonna get there. Of course, I haven't relapsed on any weed or alcohol though. Anyways, that's not what this video is about. It's about religion. Why is religion so difficult? Why is it so confusing? It's hard for me to leave religion alone because deep down inside I know there's something there. But it's confusing. First off, you have three basic, or I mean not basic, Abrahamic religions to choose from. Jewish, which if you're not already Jewish, most people aren't about to follow that religion. So, for everybody else, we have um, Christianity and Islam. And for me, I went from Christian to Muslim to atheist to, I don't know, spiritual. I don't know, man. And a lot of people are having this struggle. I know in today's world, I feel like the lack of religion and the lack of people being taught religion or people going to church is definitely doing something to the world. At least within, let's say, the community that I come from, I can see that there has been a tear apart. I don't, and I'm thinking social media definitely. I know social media has a lot to do with that. Social media makes everybody very prideful and very aware of what they don't have. Let's say. And it makes everybody pretend to have it. That's the reason I had to get rid of Facebook and things. So I have no more social media on my phone. But I can tell that without religion, people aren't ideas are spread so fast now. People's ideologies are being spread so fast through the internet. You can have an idea, put it on the internet, go viral about it, stick to that idea, and then grow your fan base right there, and boom, you have a career. There's many people doing it. There's this thing called the red pill out here now. People are treating these red pill leaders like they're in a freaking cult. Like people hang on to every word. One of the things I like about my channel is that people will agree with some of my things and then disagree with some of my things, or they'll hold me accountable for what I say. Even my longest subscribers here, they won't agree with everything I say, and they'll challenge me, and they'll have friendly debates in the comment section. Um, so it's so easy for and I appreciate that. But it's so easy for other people to just for some people to just post something online. Which, listen, if you post anything online, someone's going to challenge it. That's just the world we live in. It's the internet. Everybody has access to the internet. Someone's going to disagree with you. I don't care if you put the most perfect video up on YouTube, the most peaceful video in the world. Someone's going to challenge you on it. Um, my washer is possessed. So like for real, things going crazy. So so it's easy for somebody to put something up on internet and then just get this. When some people support you on it, it's easier for you to keep going, right? So people will put up their different versions of Christianity. You don't look like I say. You don't see it with the Quran. You do have like what is the Shiites and the Sunni Muslims. But for the most part, with Christian, for the most part with Islam, everybody kind of they stick to that Quran. There's so many remixes of the Bible is crazier, and it's funny because this is where religion just gets confusing because people are throwing all these ideas out here, and you'll have somebody who says they're religious, and they'll say, "Well, I'm not religious, I'm spiritual." And then you'll ask them, "Well, do you believe in the Adam and Eve story?" They'll say, "Yes." Do you believe there's a heaven and hell? Yeah. You believe in God? Yeah. Well, all these things are in the Bible. How do you believe in the Adam and Eve story and say that you're not a Christian? That doesn't make sense. And just say you're spiritual, but you believe in the Adam and Eve story. People aren't that smart. So you have a lot of people that are throwing all these ideas out here that'll confuse anybody. And some people just don't know how to think for themselves. This isn't a shot at this girl, but this is one channel. Like they have this red pill community. People hung on to every single word Kevin Samuel said, rest in peace. They hold on to a lot of the things that I think the dude's name is Rollo Tomasi or something like that. They hang on to everything he says. Andrew Tate is a big one who I'm just now discovering. They hang on to everything he says. And a lot of people won't even challenge it at all. They'll just literally go off this person's word like they're God or something. And you have a lot of these females that are red pill women. And you do have some of the red pill women that will challenge some of these men on certain topics and won't agree with everything. And then you got some that just go with everything that these red pill men say. I hate to say it, but I feel like there's this girl on this YouTube channel named Just Pearly Thing. She seems to be one of them. I've never seen her really challenge any of the red pill ideologies, because these things are just, ideas by these men, which I agree with a lot of them, and a lot of them I don't agree with. Like, I don't agree with the guys who say they're Christian and put the idea of lust out into the world. That's probably not the best thing to do as a Christian. But like I said, there's so many people that say they're Christians and really aren't Christians at all. Like I said, I've met more moral atheists, I think, in my life than I have Christians. But with all this confusion out here and all these people saying, oh, well, you should be spiritual, you should be Muslim, you should be Christian, you should be one of these Egyptian, what do they call it? Semitic type religions, some spiritually, I don't know. You know what I'm talking about if you know what I'm talking about. Like one that used to be like what the ancient Egypts used to believe in, and we have proof of it on the walls, and we still have proof that this is what the Egyptians believed in, and this is what you should believe in. It just gets so confusing with all this information out here. It's like, what do you believe? And then you have so many interpretations of the Bible. You have people that will interpret the Adam and Eve story this way, and then somebody else will interpret it this way. You have, like, for example, I probably brought this up in a video. I'm not sure. I talk to myself so much. I don't know what I say to y'all and what I'm saying to myself. But I know I brought up the Proverbs chapter 5, verse 1 through 5 in one of my videos. It may have been my last video, the Deep Thinker video. And how I interpreted it this way. I'm sure I brought this up in that video. And then there was another guy who was supposed to be like an sorcerer or whatever, who interpreted it another way. He interpreted it as a way to say that people should not be cussing or cursing. And I'm like, where did you get that out of this proverb? Where did you get that out of this chapter? I don't get where he pulled that from. I looked at it a completely different way. In my opinion, that verse was saying, my son, this is how it started, my sons. It pretty much says to beware of promiscuous women because they will drag you straight to hell. These are the reasons why I like to read the Bible. And there's some very interesting things in the Quran too. But these things do speak out to me. They're kind of like, there's things in the Bible where you've heard me say this before too, it's infinite wisdom. There's things in the Bible that I can literally relate to what's going on in my life. And it's crazy how things work. I just feel like there's a God out there. And I do feel like there's some type of significance in that Bible and those scriptures, and I do sometimes feel like there's significance maybe in the Quran. I'm not sure. I'm not sure on anything right now, okay? But it's hard for me to leave the Bible alone because, when I'm asking a question in my head out loud, I can just turn on TV and somehow get sent to a Bible verse, y'all. Like, it'll just be a random video that pops up on YouTube or something. It'll send me to a Bible verse. And I'm like, man, that's kind of weird. That's kind of awkward. When people challenge religion, they challenge it because they say nothing about religion is objective. They say it's all subjective. People believe religion because of feelings and things like this, which makes it subjective. And I understand that. But I would also say, try it. Try opening yourself up to religion and see if it happens for you. Because I'll give you an example. I did 3 years house arrest, right? I caught a case. I don't know if I ever went into a discussion about this. I don't, maybe I should in this video. Why not? Let's burn the time up. So I got a tour of my neighbors. I put a very friendly note on their truck asking them to move their truck out of my yard. I'll try to go through this as fast as possible. It was a super friendly note. Please and thank yous. I probably mentioned this in a video. Hopefully none of the recent ones. I put a please and thank you note asking them to move their truck out of my yard that I just happened to see them parked in, and it was because I needed to get my truck worked on. Now, mind you, this was like a quadplex, whatever you want to call them. It's like a duplex, like a double. except it's like 4 houses instead of 2 and 1, and not shared houses. Just like it's a house divided up into four separate apartments. It may have been five, where you all have your own bedroom. It's no shared living. I had my own room, my own apartment with my own bathroom, my own kitchen. None of that. It's just me living by myself. There's no way I could have did shared living with strangers. So it's just a house, a big house divided up into five different apartments. Well, I paid the most rent because and this is what they told me, is because, okay, you have a porch. I'm the only one that actually had a big porch and a yard. And I was told this is why your rent is going to be more. So somebody that didn't even live in this housing division, someone who lived a couple houses down, parked in my yard. I didn't even know whose truck it was. I just said, man, well, somebody's parked in the yard. Let me put this note on their truck to get them out of my yard. They saw me walking away from their truck. Boom, boom, boom. Called me a bunch of N-words, all this, all of that. We got into it. I got mad. They shot a gun up in the air. I say that they shot at me. They really didn't shoot at me to shoot me. They shot, kind of to scare me. Didn't scare me. I started kicking their truck. If I'm being 100% honest, I went in and I got a gun too, but then I put it up. I was like, I'm not about to fire this gun off. Because that would just be ignorant of me. That was my mistake right there. I should have never pulled out a gun. And of course, I got arrested on my property, and they didn't get arrested at all. Nothing. They never got charged or anything. Anyways, and during this time of living in this house, this apartment, I was a supervisor at a restaurant, and I was a lonely, lonely man. So I used to pray to God all the time, like, God, please send me a wife. Please send me somebody. I'm tired of being alone. I would have to go to work and lie. To my coworkers about what I did for my birthday, what I did for Christmas, all these things, just so I wouldn't, no one would know just how lonely I really was. I played it off. I didn't even let my family know. I would even lie to my family about what I did for my birthday or something. I didn't want anybody to know how lonely I was. So I would pray to God, God, please send me somebody. Please send me somebody. I never told anybody about this. So when I got out of jail, I ended up doing like 12 days in jail, bonded out after 12 days, and my mother took me to church. She wanted me to go to church like she always, like the first time I got locked up and got out, she wanted me to go to church. So we went to this church I've never been to. We sit in a row. I don't remember what the pastor was talking about or anything, but a lady touches my shoulder and she tells me and whispers in my ear, she said, God hears your prayers about being lonely. And she said your prayers will be, I don't remember what she said, but I just remember she said, God hears your prayers. I just want you to know that God hears you. It was weird to me. I'm like, how could this lady possibly know that I've been praying to God about being lonely? That was weird to me. Coincidence? I don't know, y'all. I don't know. What do y'all think? Tell me in the comments. Do you think that's a coincidence? It's just experiences like these that make me like, man, I don't know. Maybe God is real. Maybe God does speak to people. Maybe people really do just ignore what God is trying to say. I don't know. It's experiences like these, plus the spiritual experience I had when I was a child, seeing those, not even just from childhood to adulthood, hallucinating. Why is it I've never hallucinated again? If I hallucinated for all these years, why did those hallucinations stop? All right. Why did they stop? Why did sleep paralysis stop? What happened? I don't know. But it's these things that make me like, maybe there's something to this Bible. Maybe there's something to this religious thing. Maybe there's something to this God thing. And then you have things like the Old Testament versus the New Testament, which, listen, I like the God of the Old Testament. That's the one that everyone says they're afraid of. People, when you listen to Christians a lot of times, they think that God is so forgiving. And he is forgiving, and they did say Jesus came and died for our sins, but a lot of that is just kind of weird to me. It was weird that Jesus questioned Moses, or not really questioned him, but kind of demoted what he said in the Old Testament, if that's a good way to put it. When he talked about cast or promiscuous women, how you should cast a promiscuous or stone a promiscuous woman, and then Jesus was like, "Well, he without sin shall cast the first stone." That kind of confused me when I read that. Like, I wonder why Jesus was sort of undermining Moses and saying this, or is he undermining Moses? Am I understanding this wrong? or then people's different perceptions of heaven and hell, and and I know the Bible is something you should read thoroughly to get your own, I guess, perception out of it, because people perceive things differently. And I think perception is a part of intelligence. I think a lot of people that are religious do not think in depth. They don't think deeply. The way that somebody can see the Adam and Eve story, who has more of a superficial way of thinking, and the way that somebody can see it who's actually went and mentally, dissected this verse apart or dissected this story apart. I think these two people might have a different perception on what the verse is saying, and then a lot of times they have the same perception. It's just one person is thinking deeper than the other, and when it's different, it's just like sometimes the person who has a superficial belief or a way of thinking or understanding of the Bible or of a certain verse, can seem to have it more together sometimes, whereas a deep thinker seem to have went too deep and off the deep end. You know what I mean? It's almost like a child. Sometimes children are smarter than adults just because they haven't been so tainted by the world and they haven't been so tainted by your own hubris, I guess. I don't know. Um, sometimes you ask a child something and they'll just have, like, I remember seeing this video about this kindergarten teacher. I just saw it the other day, where a kindergarten teacher was talking to her kids about non-binary, or is that what it's called? Yes, non-binary people. Listen, y'all, I'm sorry, I'm not with that. I'm not your boy or girl. Okay, if you're a girl and you feel like you want to be a man, it's your thing. Do what you want to do. I can't tell you who to sock it to, but you're a boy or a girl when you're born. I don't want to hear about the small percentage of people that are born hermaphrodites or whatever. There's probably a new word for that, but growing up we called it hermaphrodite. I believe, having being born with a boy and a girl part. But how often does that happen? Not often enough for you to bring it up in an argument. I hate when people bring up an exception, argue an exception. It's the most annoying thing. But and this teacher was trying to teach her kids about non-binary people. Which, listen, these kids were, I think they said 5 to 7 or 6 to 8. They were very young, too young for you to be talking to your kids about this. This is how you know the world is getting crazy. Too young to be bringing up these things to kids. You're confusing these kids already. It seems like some people want other people to be just like them, even if it's what they're. The world is crazy. But, and listen, man, this channel is gonna piss off people. I know a lot of women hop up off on my channel. Keep hopping. I don't care. I'm gonna say what I say. If you're a woman, you should know when watching my videos that I don't believe in abortion. I do have very, I guess you would call, sexist views. Just don't subscribe if this is not you. This is not, you know what I mean? Just don't subscribe, please. I've had women that try to flirt with me and then didn't get anywhere and then unsubscribe. A couple of them. But anyways, so this lady is teaching her kindergartners or whatever about her roommate, who the woman would not say if her roommate is a boy or girl. She just keeps saying they're neither a boy or a girl. So her classmates keep pushing her like, well, what do they wear? And she's like, well, they wear a jean and a t-shirt. Well, what color is the shirt? She just, I don't know what she just kept on dodging the question. And these kindergartners kept pushing her and challenging her. And she said they eventually got mad and just walked off, as they should have. Because what these kindergartners are telling you is, it doesn't make sense. Non-binary does not make sense. And sometimes you'll see this with religion. Kids, if you really want to, I think that's one of the best ways to see if a story makes sense. Break down a story, read a story to some kids, and then let the kids question you about it. That'll probably give you some of the most best perspectives, because these kids have not been tainted by the world yet, and nowadays, in today's world, these kids are going to get tainted at a very early age because people want to taint their children with these crazy beliefs and their crazy ideologies. And a lot of times when you put something in the air as for somebody to believe it's really an ideology, it's going off of your own personal beliefs. But anyways, there was just a shooting in a mall right down the street from me, where some some guy comes in with an automatic weapon and shot up the food court, and a armed civilian killed him in the process. So before he got to kill too many people, I believe he killed three, maybe two or three. He got killed, so he may be included in those three people. I'm not sure, but it just keeps popping up onto my phone. But anyways, I think that's one of the best things. Say out one of these parables from the Bible and let one of these 6, 7, 8 year olds challenge you on it, and you'll probably get a great perspective. But religion is so confusing. It's hard, and this is what I want my channel to start doing, is to start digging into and diving into. I want to interview so many different people, man, because I don't want to just think about where my mind is. I want to think where everybody's mind is. I want to know how other people think. People that are way far more educated than I am, and hopefully I'll educate myself in the process. I want to start, interviewing people about their beliefs in the Bible, and I want to be maybe interview a theologist. I'm sorry, who has a degree, who actually went to college for theology, or a biologist, which I'm thinking about going into school for, biology, just to, it's about life. That's what biology is, life, the study of life. And I just want to, I have my interest is really in life. How did life really get here? Creation. How did it really get here? Is it the Big Bang Theory that led into the theory of evolution? Is there something more spiritual behind it? Because like I said, when you're researching the Big Bang Theory and things like this, there's all these different things that, the science always changes as it goes on, which is what science is supposed to do. A lot of the time, you have people like theoretical physicists who will put an idea up in the air, and as a scientist, you use the scientific method to challenge that idea to pretty much determine whether this hypothesis is a fact or it's not a fact. Does it fit into does it fit mathematically? Does it fit scientifically? And then they can either add that as the main theory, or they can just push it to the side. Okay, it didn't work out. And a lot of times with the scientific method, you'll see things keep changing over the years. Big Bang Theory has changed over the years. They had to insert the inflation theory. They've they discovered things like the cosmic background, or whatever it's called, the CMB. And they realized that the universe is pretty much uniformed. And okay, how did this happen? Boom, insert the inflation theory. Okay, mathematically it checks out. Okay, the inflation theory probably happened. They don't know what happened before t equals 0. Before, they don't know what happened before the Big Bang. They can only tell you what happened after that. And then people will try to take science and they'll try to see if it makes sense with the book of Genesis. Okay, science tells us this about the beginning of time. Well, this doesn't line up to what Genesis says. Genesis says that God just created out Adam and then took part of Adam's rib and he created Eve, where evolution tells us that we evolved from monkeys. And and then people say, well, maybe it's, God just didn't go into detail. Maybe, this is what he's telling y'all and you just have to fill in the blanks with science. I don't know, man. It just gets so confusing. And this is one of the things I want to do with this channel, is really go on a true search to try to get as close to the truth as possible, I guess. I'm rambling on, y'all. Sorry I've been gone for so long. I'll try to start putting up more videos more frequently, because I do need to grow this channel. And it's not just about growing a channel. It's really about reaching the audience. So we can kind of grow together, I guess, man. I want people to see my growth, and I want people to grow with me. And that's including the diet. I will get back to my dieting, all right? I will, I promise. Until then, I'm going to go ahead and finish this orange juice. Anyways, it's Ebenezer. I'm checking out. Hopefully I didn't leave anything up in the air. I don't know what my point is, just saying this is why religion is so hard for me. Because I don't know anything. I don't know anything. I really don't. And I want to learn. 7 Easter, I'm out.